Welcome to the 6th Fanmon Direct, the Division Birthday Bash. These are the two logos we've made just for the special occasion, so we hope you like them. Of course, these are not going to be used for the official project. These are just special editions we made just for this direct only. What better way to start off the direct by talking about the United Division, well, history. It starts all the way back in March of 2021, where BA and I, just the two of us at the time during the early days of the project before we had more people join us, so to just come up with something random, just a digital project really, because we knew that we couldn't go ahead and make a family game even if we wanted to, because of course we don't experience the same fate as what the developers had. So we decided to just do it as just a fan imagine thing online. And we came up with United Division, and these are the two old logos for United Division really. One of the legendaries, Elector, one of the earliest, also one of the earliest things we came up with, was not always a part of the original Creatures trio if you've watched the United Division YouTube series. It was originally supposed to be the third legendary to the Pokemon United legendary and the Pokemon Division legendary. Of course, we noticed that, of course, the 9% 3 wouldn't make any sense, and so we scrapped this out to now Electro being a member of the original Creatures, which makes a lot more sense if you've watched the United Division YouTube series, which of course you can find at the little icon above. Now, we didn't want to completely get rid of Electro's affiliations with the United Division Legendary, because the United Division Legendary in the Pokédex entries, of course we won't reveal here, they don't really have much relation to some of the higher ups. As in by higher ups, I mean the other legendaries and mythicals. So we decided to throw in some of Electrolord's beta aspects of being the third legendary to United and Division Pokédex entries. Of course, it is not the third legendary, but it tends to act like one kind of, sort of, when you read the United Pokemon's Pokédex entry. And then we get over to when Pokemon United Division was first revealed to the public in November 2021 on the Christmas Clips channel. It was revealed in the first Fanmon Direct, which I recommend you do not watch because it is incredibly rushed, and I would say it could deserve a remake, but it's still a good direct to watch if you need to understand the whole basics of United Division. And then we get over to the Kandos Pokedex, where you get a more definite information about what the Kandos region is like for the fake one that are living in there. And this is going to be crazy, but we didn't actually want it to go insane with the Kandos Pokedex in the early days of United Division when it was only just being working on it before we got more members. We were thinking of stopping at 100 Fakemon really, until we realized that that wouldn't make any sense because it wouldn't really balance out all 19 typings. You would have so many of 2 typings and only one of 1 typing. As of now, there is a lot of Fakemon, and we've only covered 35 as the playlist suggests, so there's tons and tons to go through. Polaroid remade some of these as just a little gift to Fanmon, which we consider very nice. You can check these out for in your time if you want to see the full video of it. It will also be listed in the description below, but here are her versions of Balahimno and Balamalengos, the evolved forms of the Kandos Water Starter Bahan. And last but not least, the most important piece of Pokemon United history is, of course, the beginning of the YouTube series. We, of course, did not want to make the story just bland. We wanted to go ahead and plot it out properly by starting off Season 1 with explaining the history of the Kandos region and, of course, the universe it takes place in. Spoiler alert for those who haven't watched the series, the Kandos region and, of course, Poké Earth in general do not take place in the Pokemon universe you're known to. Takes place in the Supreme Creators universe, which is a completely different universe compared to Arceus'. And speaking of the Kandos Legends history, we have a side series announcement. This being called Mysteries of Poké Earth, Legends of Legendaries, and Myths of Mythicals. As the title suggests, this is going to be talking about the other legendary Pokemon and mythicals outside of the Kandos region. As in the Supreme Creator universe, they tend to go ahead and explain, they go in them wide depth more and explain their origins a bit better than what you would see in the mainline games. We started off with episode Kanto explaining with the 3 legendary birds, and of course Mew and Mewtwo, as of course, they still count as somewhat pieces of history. We get episode Johto, which will explain about the legendary beasts, Celebi, and of course the Tower Duo. We get episode Hoenn, which will probably have maybe shorter or longer episodes depending, talking about the Aeon Duo, the 3 Golems, the Weather Trio, and of course, Jirachi and Deoxys. Now, episode Sin of Oaths. This one may throw people a little bit off, but spoiler alert again for those that haven't watched the United and Division YouTube series. Yes, the Sinnoh region does not exist in this universe. Rather, it is just an unnamed land. And of course, Arceus, the Creation Shield, and the Lake Guardian do not exist either, because if you haven't watched episode 2, a big event, not going to say any more, a big event happened, which caused, of course, just them being erased from the reality in meaning that everything that happened in those two fused universes, yeah, one of those fused universes is completely gone, and everything was returned to the way the Supreme Creator wanted it to be in. So episode 10 of Oath is basically going to explain what happened post then. You know, how in the world would you discover these legendaries if you wanted to? And what form and what shape would they take place? Would they represent? Episode Universe is going to be a pretty long one because there's many legendaries to go through, and some of those legendaries do tie into some of the Candonian legendaries, but we'll of course get into their basics in time. We'll be covering about Victini's origins, the Tao Trio, the Swords of Justice, Forces of Nature, Meloetta, and Genesis. Episode Kalos may have a few shorter legendaries, but that doesn't mean that we won't go that far with the lore, because we will go that far with the lore. Specifically, you know, Zygarde and the Mythical, since I have to say the way they were handled was pretty bad, not gonna lie. I mean, of course, you know, the whole people not getting the Pokemon Z thing, and then you just have Diancie just being a mutated Carbreak when there could have been lots more to it. But we'll get to those eventually. Episode Low is going to be long as well, but remember that we are not counting Ultra Beasts. I repeat, we are not counting Ultra Beasts as legendaries or mythicals. They're a completely different category. And then we have episode Galar, which I can proudly say that we'll finally find some type of way to explain all of the legendaries in there now that Generation 8 is over. And I'm wondering, well, where's Paldea? Well, Paldea is still new. Paldea hasn't really reached its 1-year mark yet. There's still more to wait for. For example, the DLCs that we're waiting for and stuff. But for the legendaries that we have now, Karana and Miraidon, I don't really know if I would really consider them legendary. I mean, like, they're pretty much just there. Like, you know, they just appeared from just quote-unquote different time periods, even though I don't believe in that, but okay, different time periods, and then they're just there, really. And when Karada's Pokédex entry says that in prehistoric times it split the land, I don't know what land it's meaning, probably like it split Paldea into, you know, all of its separate pieces, I guess, or something, but really though, those are just Paradox Pokemon, so there could be maybe just more to them, really. They could even not be legendary, just be some type of, you know, just super enhanced Pokemon or something. For the Treasures of Ruin, thankfully in Paldea, they finally explain actual origins of the legendaries properly, and then they just don't leave you on a quest anymore. So the Treasures of Ruin were confirmed to be brought from a different region, and they were items, you know, that turn into you know, the Pokemon, if you play the games, that is. And you've read that in the history class of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So yeah, I'm glad that Paldea's legends, specifically the Treasures of Ruin, speak for themselves. Alright, last but not least, we'll show you a sneak peek of Kalos and Legends History Episode 4. We hope you enjoy. Thank you for celebrating the Pokemon United Division Birthday Bash Direct today. We hope to see you during the premiere of Episode 4 of Kalos Legends History. Have a good day.